Hi everybody, this is Scott Sharp with Fretboard Toolbox, and today we're going to play around with some walking bass lines in the key of G major. We'll play along with some free jam tracks, and although I'm no bass expert, I'll be able to show you some stuff maybe some other experts can't show you, because I'll be able to show you where all those notes are laid out all over the fretboard and help those walking bass lines make some more sense. So let's get started and I'll show you how it works. Today we're going to be using a Fretboard Toolbox Complete 4-string bass 2nd edition, and we'll be looking at the key of G major. And so I'm using the interactive ebook, so you can just click on the key of G major, and then there's some things that you're going to want to know, and it takes a little bit of time, but once you get it, it's going to open up everything. So for the key of G major, all these notes in the white boxes going across are your G major scale. So that's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. And then I've got a fretboard layout down here, and all those notes in white boxes, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, are all in white because they're in the key of G major. So you're going to want to know the key of G major, the notes in white boxes. You're going to want to know that major chords are built out of the notes 1, 3, and 5, or the 1, 3, and 5 notes. So a G major chord, which is called your 1 chord in the key of G major, is made of the notes G, B, and D. And on bass, when we're starting out, we want to play a lot of 1, 5, 1, 5. Maybe after a long time, we want to play 1, 5, 1, 5. So I want to know major chords are 1, 3, 5. So my C major chord, which is called my 4 chord, is C, E, G. And then D major is D, F sharp, A. And remember, really focus on D and A for the D chord, C and G for the C chord, and G and D for the G chord. And then minor chords are 1 flat 3 5. Okay, so what that means is A minor, the 2 chord, A is my 1, flat 3 is C, and the 5 is E. So on an A minor or A major, notice the 1 and 5 are the same for both chords. The only thing that changes is whether it's a flat 3 or a 3. 3 means major, flat 3 means minor. But on an A major or minor, I'm going to focus on A and E mainly. And on a B minor, the 3 chord, I'm going to focus on B and F sharp. And so you want to learn these Roman numerals here. You want to learn the chords that fit in the key, and it really helps to learn the notes that make up the chords. And you want to know the major scale. So there's several things, but I'll show you later how to get the key of G major page for free for this book. And then we're going to play through these G major chord progressions today. So a 1, 5, 1 in the key of G is G major, D major, G major. A 1, 4, 5 is G, C, D, etc. And then we're going to be using this fretboard to jump around and play the chords. So G major was G, B, and D. So G, B, and D notes. But I'm going to focus on G and D. So G, D, G, D. Okay. And I want to know the major scale notes because those are really good for walking bass lines. So let's play the whole G major scale. It's G, A, B, C. And you could go to this D or this D. E, F sharp, and then you could go to this G or this G. So let's play through that real quick. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, and then if we kept going, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So that was going G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That's G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay, so that's the major scale notes. And so then when we're looking at the chord progressions, if I'm going G, D, G, I want to be able to see I'm going G, D, G, D, and D major is D, A, D, A. That's the 1, 5. D, F sharp, A is the chord. But just for a real simple G major, G, D, G, D, and then when it goes to the D chord, D, A, G, D, G. But then I got all these notes in white boxes that I can use to move around between the chords. So let's play this G and D, and then this D and A, and I'll put it to a jam track here. So you just go to the Fretboard Toolbox website, Tracks and Tabs, 200 free jam tracks. and then some G major jam tracks, and I've got them for a whole bunch of different keys here. It's hundreds and hundreds of free tracks you can mess around with, and I mess around with a lot. We're going to skip the all G major chord today and go to the 1-5-1, which is G and D. And on these free jam tracks, it also shows you the notes that make up the chords to help remind you. So let's try this medium speed, and let's go to, so G, D, D, A. So that went C, B, G. That's B, A, G. So once you get that idea, then I can go play that anywhere here, like G, D, G, D. D, C, B, G, D. Just walking up and down the whole major scale. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but what I'd really do is spend a lot of time just on these jam tracks and use these free pages I'll show you how to get later, and find your own paths in different ways around it. So let's look at the next chord progression, which is going to be G, C, D. Okay, so I'm going to go G, D, G, D. C major is C, E, G. So I'm going to go maybe C, G, C, G, or C, G, C, G. And just to go from the G to the C, I could go G, A, B, C. Let's see if you can hear those chord progressions before we play them. Okay, that was G, D, G. So G major. Now we're to the C chord. Now to go to the D, which is D and A, or D, F sharp A. Okay, so that was G, D, G, A, B, C, G, C, B, C, D, A, da, ba, bum. Okay, and then another fun thing in the key of G is walking up E, F sharp, G, like when we go to like the 5 chord. Oops. So that's E, F sharp, G, C, G, C. And then I could walk down like I have been doing, or I could go E, F sharp, G. So that was E, F sharp, G, or E, F sharp, G. Okay, so we're just going to be messing around. I'm not wanting you to play everything that I'm playing, because I'm just kind of messing around and improvising with what I'm trying to do here. But I want you to just see this is like all the white boxes are a playground that you can just mess around with and find all sorts of fun things to do. So let's try a G, C, D chord progression. Here's your notes. E, F sharp, G. So one of the things I did there that's fun to do is I went from C, and then this is D flat or C sharp up to the D. So when we were playing the C chord, so that's called going chromatically. Chromatic means all the colors or all the notes. So even though this little gray box is out of the key, it's still a nice way to just get between the C and D chord. Okay, so let's go to a 1-5-4 chord progression. So now we're going to go G, D, C, and we'll play that here at this speed. Now I'm on D, A, C, oh, that would have been cool if I hit it. Let's try it one more time. So on that one, I did that same idea. I was playing D major. So D, A, D, D, D flat, C, G, C, and then maybe like B, A, G. But there's millions of ways to do it and millions of rules you can break. But when you're getting started, staying with the white boxes is really, really helpful. So if I was playing that same, now that we have that G, D, C progression in our head, let's try G, D, G, D, and then I'm going to walk down to the D chord and play D, A, D, A. So let's try that. Oh, that was just a G, D, G chord progression. So I was going G, D, G, G, or F sharp, E, D, A, D, ba, ba, bum. So like the goal is to be able to hear those chord progressions in your head while you're playing these different bass runs, and that's kind of when the fun starts happening, is when you just know what you want to hear and then you make it happen. All right, let's try one or two more here. Let's do a 1-6-4-5 G, E minor, C, D. Okay, and so E minor is E, G, and B notes. So I could play G, D, G, G, F sharp, E, B, E. So let's try to do that one. And then it goes to the C major, and then it goes to the D major. So let's make up some lines for that here. We'll get some jam track going. All right, here we go. All right, so that one, I went off the rails a little bit. So I started out G, D, G, G, F sharp, E, B, E, A, B, C, G, C, B, C, D, A, D, ba, ba, bum. C, G, C, and then I went that chromatic. And then I went E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, B, E. And then I went E, D, C, G. And then I did that chromatic. And then to get back to the G, E, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G. So again, I'm not trying to have you play all the stuff I'm playing. I'm just trying to show you there's so many ways to jump around these chords, and then just instead of like, so many teachers would tell me like, oh, there's hardly a wrong note you can play. Just experiment, and I'd be like, and I'm just like, oh, that's not right. But it's because I didn't know what the notes were safe. So all these notes in white boxes are safe. And like I said, there's rules to break and all sorts of rules to break. But when you know the rules you're breaking, it makes it extra fun because then you can do it in any key. So, I think you got the idea. So once you can see what's my chord progression, and then knowing what are my notes that I'm trying to hit out of the progression, and then once I can see how can I move around between those chords, then all sorts of fun things happen. So this is just a playground for you to see all the notes in white boxes that are safe, and then to be able to see here are some chord progressions, because no matter how good your guitar playing friend is, he won't play for 20, or she won't play for 30 hours for you while you just sit and work on these bass lines, but these free jam tracks will. So if you're interested in learning more about fretboard toolboxes, you can go to the Fretboard Toolbox website, go to pick your instrument. I've got books set up just alike for all these different instruments. The big thing to note is that I have two different editions, Essential and Complete. Today we were looking at the Complete, but they're different books. So make sure you click on this. And there's a video, it'll tell you all about those differences. All my bass videos can be found on this link here. And then these are my essential books. I've got standard ebook, interactive ebook, and print. The differences between all those are up here. If you click that. Today we were looking at the complete edition. And if you click look inside, you can download free pages, like a third of the book, quarter of the book for free. And it'll have all the instructions and the key of G major pages for you to see if it's something that you find useful. So anyways, I hope you found something helpful here today, and I'll be back on more Fretboard Fridays with more videos on more of my favorite instruments.